Botched.com.
Welcome to Daily News Brief, your clear, concise look at today's top headlines. If you find this update helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a story that matters.
The Trump administration might intensify its conflict with Congress over spending by permanently withholding some federal funds.
This tactic, known as a pocket rescission, could cancel congressionally approved funding without a vote from lawmakers.
The affected funding is scheduled to expire at the end of the fiscal year on September 30th.
The White House could announce its plans for the remaining unallocated funds as soon as Friday.
The United States Constitution grants Congress control over spending.
However, Republicans, who control both the House of Representatives and the Senate, have generally supported the administration's unilateral freezes on spending.
Several funding programs have been delayed for months, with minimal Republican objection.
The Government Accountability Office ruled that $100 million in federal library funding was unlawfully withheld by the administration.
Other frozen funds include those for a Montana Children is Paleontology Education Program.
Funds for copyright and artificial intelligence research and librarian training assistance started by former First Lady Laura Bush are also affected.
Congress has the power to review these funding cuts in committee hearings and vote on the provision.
Republican Senators Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski have voiced objections to the tactic.
Some Republicans have urged the administration to release other frozen funds, such as $6 billion in education funds.
14 Republicans also pushed for the release of National Institutes of Health research funding.
Democrats claim the administration has withheld over $420 billion in bipartisan-approved funding.
This unprecedented level of withholding reduces government accountability to citizens.
The White House budget director has stated, "These freezes are for programmatic review."
However, the Government Accountability Office rulings deem the delays impermissible.
A hiker in Tennessee tragically died after being bitten by a venomous snake at Savage Gulf State Park.
Officials believe the hiker made a fatal mistake by picking up the snake.
First responders arrived at the scene around 12:30 p.m. last Friday, finding the hiker only half a mile down a trailhead.
Despite life-saving efforts, the hiker was transported to a local hospital and later succumbed to his injuries.
The Grundy County Emergency Management Agency believes the snake was likely a timber rattlesnake.
Timber rattlesnakes are a highly venomous species found in the eastern United States.
Witnesses reported seeing the hiker pick up the snake, which then bit him on the hand.
While the full cause of death is yet to be released, it is believed to be related to an allergic reaction.
Matthew Griffith of the Grundy County Emergency Management Agency offered condolences to the hiker's family.
He also emphasized the importance of carrying first aid supplies and being mindful of wildlife while engaging in outdoor activities.
Griffith strongly advised against handling snakes, recommending that people remain calm if they encounter one.
The Grundy County Emergency Management Agency website describes timber rattlesnakes as the largest and most dangerous venomous snake in Tennessee.
These snakes can grow up to 5 feet long and have a distinctive triangular head, vertical pupils, and a rattle on their tail.
However, rattlesnake bites are rarely fatal, with less than 1 in 600 resulting in death.
The Smithsonian National Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute considers timber rattlesnakes relatively docile.
They typically prey on small rodents and often stay still when encountered in the wild.
A recent Reddit post highlighted surprisingly high prices for trinkets at a Goodwill store.
The original poster expressed frustration with these inflated prices, accompanied by pictures of the items.
Thrifting has become increasingly popular, particularly among younger generations.
They see thrift stores as a source of affordable, quality goods that promote sustainability.
The Trump administration tariffs on imported goods further fueled the shift towards secondhand shopping.
Rising prices on imported clothing from major retailers have encouraged consumers to seek budget-friendly alternatives.
ThredUp, a significant secondhand clothing retailer, projects substantial growth in the secondhand market.
They predict the United States market will reach $73 billion by 2028.
This growth is generally positive for thrift stores, which often compete with cheap fast fashion.
Fast fashion contributes significantly to global pollution and landfill waste.
Thrift stores, by reselling durable clothing, reduce the need for frequent wardrobe replacements.
This practice contributes significantly to environmental protection.
This particular Goodwill store might be taking advantage of the increased reliance on secondhand goods.
Although these prices are atypical for thrift stores, they still provoked outrage among shoppers.
The attraction of thrift stores has traditionally been affordable items that support a circular economy.
These higher prices contradict that principle.
When disaster strikes, insider information can be invaluable.
Last Christmas morning, a fire disrupted the peace in one insurance writer's home.
As an expert in homeowners insurance, she was familiar with claims processes.
However, experiencing a fire firsthand provided unexpected lessons.
Her first piece of advice is to trust your instincts.
A faint smell of smoke prompted her to call emergency services, despite her husband's hesitation.
The fire department quickly arrived and contained the fire, preventing its spread.
The second lesson learned was the importance of checking light bulbs.
The fire was caused by a faulty can light above the linen closet.
The fire captain emphasized that a delay in calling could have resulted in the entire house burning down.
The third lesson involves documenting everything possible.
Unfortunately, the faulty light fixture was discarded, hindering the investigation.
This led to the homeowner hiring an electrician to inspect the entire house and replace all can lights.
Having a list of reputable repair professionals is the fourth recommendation.
Her insurance agent provided referrals, but she already had trusted contacts.
It is important to vet any contractor, regardless of the source of the referral.
The fifth lesson is that preferred vendors are not always the best option.
While they may have a direct line to the insurance company, their priority might not be the homeowner's best interest.
Do not let repairs run on autopilot, which is lesson number 6.
Even with reputable contractors, staying involved is essential to ensure quality work.
The homeowner experienced issues such as spilled paint, chipped countertops, and a shattered shower door due to lack of oversight.
Finally, it is important to have realistic expectations about the timeline.
The initial estimate for repairs was a month or two, but it ended up taking 8 months.
Thanks for staying informed. See you in the next episode.
Italian fig farmers are facing a devastating crisis due to extreme weather conditions like frost and heavy rain.
This has led to significant losses in the Apulia region, a key area for fig production, impacting both domestic and international markets.
Francesco Palaciano of Cuore Verde Farm reported a 70% loss in spring production due to frost damage.
Similarly, Michelangelo De Chirico observed a 50% drop, attributing it to rising global temperatures and premature fruit dropping.
Heavy rains and hails have also compromised fruit quality, making export difficult, according to Gaetano Modugno of Evergreen.
This crisis highlights the vulnerability of agriculture to climate change and its impact on farmers' livelihoods.
Palaciano emphasized that the fig tree is struggling to adapt to the changing climate, with yields decreasing annually.
He fears that if this trend continues, many farmers will be forced to switch to different crops.
The rising global temperatures are exacerbating extreme weather events, disrupting traditional growing cycles.
Unseasonal frosts, heat waves, and excessive rainfall are damaging crops and reducing yields worldwide.
This impacts farmers' incomes and can lead to shortages and higher prices for consumers.
The interconnectedness of the global food system means that crop failures in one region can have far-reaching consequences.
Understanding these climate-related challenges is crucial for both public health and environmental sustainability.
These issues directly affect the food supply and the stability of agricultural communities.
While farmers hope for better conditions in the later harvest, long-term solutions require addressing the root causes of climate change.
This includes transitioning to cleaner energy sources and implementing sustainable land management practices.
A small plane made an emergency landing on Interstate 805 in San Diego on Saturday afternoon.
This incident occurred near Carroll Canyon Road in Sorrento Valley, around 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
The California Highway Patrol and Federal Aviation Administration are investigating the cause of the emergency landing.
Preliminary reports suggest the plane experienced mechanical issues.
The plane was a private aircraft traveling from Montgomery Gibbs Executive Airport.
Its intended destination was the Miramar Marine Corps Air Station.
Fortunately, no injuries were reported to the pilot or anyone on the ground.
Caltrans closed all southbound lanes of Interstate 805 at the Interstate 5 split.
Traffic was diverted to Interstate 5 South while crews worked to remove the plane.
Images from a Caltrans traffic camera show the plane at rest in the middle of the highway.
The incident caused significant traffic delays in the area.
All lanes reopened around 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturday night.
This allowed traffic to resume its normal flow.
The authorities have not yet released the identity of the pilot.
Further details about the circumstances that led to the emergency landing are expected soon.
We will provide updates as more information becomes available.
New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell has been indicted on charges of conspiracy, fraud, and obstruction.
These charges relate to an alleged scheme to conceal a romantic relationship with her bodyguard, Jeffrey Vappy.
Vappy was also indicted and is accused of being paid for work he did not perform while with Cantrell.
This includes time spent together in apartments and on trips, such as wine tasting at vineyards.
This indictment comes just months before the end of Cantrell's second term as mayor.
She is the first mayor in New Orleans' 300-year history to face charges while in office.
Acting United States Attorney Michael Simpson emphasized the significance of this case in light of Louisiana's history with public corruption.
Vappy was previously charged with wire fraud and making false statements, to which he pleaded not guilty.
Cantrell and Vappy are accused of using encrypted messages through WhatsApp to avoid detection.
They also allegedly deleted these conversations after they occurred.
While both claim their relationship was strictly professional, the indictment describes it as personal and intimate.
The city of New Orleans stated it is aware of the indictment and the mayor's attorney is reviewing it.
The indictment alleges Vappy and Cantrell exchanged over 15,000 messages on WhatsApp.
These messages allegedly include efforts to harass a citizen, delete evidence, and make false statements to Federal Bureau of Investigation agents.
Simpson stated that New Orleans taxpayers paid over $70,000 for Vappy's travel expenses.
One cited instance involved a trip to Martha's Vineyard instead of a conference in Miami.
Thomas Noguchi, who performed Marilyn Monroe's autopsy, is breaking his silence after 63 years.
He reveals that he never agreed with the suicide ruling and was prevented from investigating a potential murder.
Noguchi, now 98, shares his account in a new book by Ann Soon Choi.
The book details how the autopsy was incomplete and evidence went missing.
Noguchi admits he disagreed with the official ruling of suicide.
He was not allowed to investigate the lack of visual evidence of pills in her stomach despite bottles of sedatives being present.
Reports suggest Monroe was pregnant with President Kennedy's child and threatened to reveal her abortion after he ended their relationship.
This gave the Kennedys a motive to silence her, according to sources.
Noguchi requested further testing of Monroe's stomach contents and organs.
However, head toxicologist Raymond Abernathy disposed of them after the coroner's report was issued.
Without a complete analysis, it was impossible to determine if Monroe died by injection instead of pills.
Noguchi feared being held responsible if the autopsy was deemed inadequate.
He was a young probationary coroner at the time, only 35 years old.
It was unusual for him to be assigned such a high-profile case instead of the chief coroner.
Choi questions why the chief coroner passed on the opportunity.
Noguchi suspected a cover-up and questioned if Monroe was murdered.
He wondered if he was unknowingly involved in concealing the truth.
The book raises questions about the circumstances surrounding Marilyn Monroe's death.
Dan Smoker experienced a nightmare during his family trip to Europe due to a call made to United Airlines, not a flight cancellation.
After a flight cancellation, Smoker spent over 3 hours on the phone with United, trying to rebook his flight.
He spoke with an agent who promised to charge him for the new ticket, upgrade him to premium economy, and refund the original cost.
Smoker then received a confirmation email regarding refund timelines from a suspicious non-United email address.
Months later, Smoker had not received his refund and discovered a $17,000 charge on his credit card under the alias AIRLINEFARE.
Consumer investigator Steve Steger examined the confirmation email and identified several red flags suggesting a potential scam.
Both Smoker and Steger verified through call logs that Smoker had indeed called United Airlines' official customer service number.
These call logs confirmed that Smoker spent 3 hours on the phone with what he believed to be United Airlines.
However, United Airlines representatives informed Smoker that their internal call logs only recorded a 12-minute call.
United Airlines confirmed receiving multiple calls from Smoker and initiated an internal review of the situation.
United could not explain how the call was transferred to the suspected scammer or the discrepancy in call duration.
Smoker has filed a fraud report with his credit card provider and is awaiting a resolution from United Airlines.
A United spokeswoman confirmed they are in contact with Smoker and committed to finding a fair resolution.
She did not, however, provide an explanation for the potential call redirection.
Smoker placed his trust in United Airlines system, only to be scammed through it.
While Smoker was seemingly scammed through United's official line, this incident reflects a broader trend of airline scams.
The urgency of rebooking canceled flights makes airline customers vulnerable to phishing scams.
Organizations like the Better Business Bureau and American Association of Retired Persons have reported a surge in these scams.
Fox News correspondent Jackie Heinrich witnessed Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin ignore reporters' questions after their summit on Friday.
She stated that everyone in the room was surprised by the president's silence.
Heinrich is the network's senior White House correspondent.
Donald Trump has previously targeted Heinrich.
She spoke about the summit's conclusion with anchor Brian Kilmeade.
Kilmeade also said he had not expected the usually talkative Trump to walk away without taking questions.
Kilmeade expressed surprise at the lack of questions after the meeting.
Trump and Putin were vague about what was accomplished at the Alaska meeting.
The meeting began with Trump clapping and rolling out the red carpet for the Russian leader.
Vladimir Putin is accused of war crimes.
Kilmeade also expressed surprise at the lack of details regarding progress made at the meeting.
Heinrich shared her observations with Kilmeade after witnessing the event.
The summit took place in Alaska between President Trump and President Putin.
The lack of questions from reporters was unexpected by those present.
The president's silence on the details of the meeting was also noteworthy.
The meeting involved discussions between the United States and Russia.
Joe Rogan discussed voter frustration with immigration and customs enforcement raids.
He stated voters expected the raids to target violent criminals, not laborers.
Rogan previously endorsed and interviewed Donald Trump.
He criticized the immigration raids at workplaces.
Representative Anna Paulina Luna suggested foreign influence fueled protests against the raids.
Rogan acknowledged this while also recognizing genuine concerns about the raids.
He mentioned people being pulled from schools and stores.
Rogan highlighted the discrepancy between expectations and reality regarding ICE targets.
He stated people expected gang members to be targeted, not landscapers.
Rogan questioned how corporations relying on illegal labor are affected.
He empathized with immigrants seeking a better life.
Rogan questioned how they could compete with United States citizens for jobs.
Luna suggested both sides benefit from the continued immigration issues.
Rogan agreed with this assessment.
Donald Trump had proposed exceptions for some illegal laborers.
He acknowledged this would be controversial.
Sarah Shaw, a New Zealand citizen residing legally in the United States since 2021, was detained by United States immigration authorities.
This occurred after a short trip to Canada with her 6-year-old son due to a minor paperwork error regarding her travel permit.
Shaw had taken her 2 older children to the Vancouver airport for a direct flight to their grandparents in New Zealand.
She chose this flight to avoid a layover for her children traveling alone, according to her attorney.
Upon returning to the United States, Shaw was detained at the Blaine, Washington Customs and Border Protection checkpoint because her travel permit had expired.
Her son, whose immigration documents were valid, was also detained with her.
Shaw and her son were transported approximately 2,000 miles to the South Texas Family Residential Center in Dilley, Texas.
Shaw's attorney attempted to secure humanitarian parole for her, which would have allowed her to return home, but the request was denied.
Shaw also asked if her boyfriend or a friend could pick up her son, since his documents were current, but this request was also denied.
Shaw came to the United States as a tourist in 2021 and married a United States citizen that year.
The marriage ended shortly after, and she filed an I-360 petition in April 2022, which is still under review.
She had been living in the United States on a combo card, a dual work and travel permit secured through her job with Washington State.
When it was time to renew the card, Shaw renewed the work permit but not the travel permit, due to the cost and lack of travel plans at the time.
She mistakenly believed the renewal of her work permit also extended her travel authorization.
Shaw had established a stable life in the United States with a full-time job, an apartment, and children in school.
She was scheduled to begin a master's program in psychology this month at Northwest University.
Israel is preparing to relocate Palestinians from combat zones in Gaza to the southern part of the territory.
This comes as Israel advances plans for a military offensive in some of Gaza's most densely populated areas.
The Israeli military body, Kogat, responsible for humanitarian aid to Gaza, announced the resumption of tent supplies to the territory on Sunday.
While the military has not commented on the timing of the Palestinian relocation, Defense Minister Israel Katz stated on social media that discussions are underway to finalize the plan to defeat Hamas in Gaza.
Meanwhile, families of Israeli hostages have called for a nationwide day of stoppage in Israel on Sunday.
This demonstration aims to express growing frustration over the ongoing 22 months of war.
These families fear the impending offensive will further endanger the remaining 50 hostages in Gaza, with only an estimated 20 believed to be alive.
Recent videos of emaciated hostages pleading for help and food have caused widespread horror and concern.
The families and supporters are urging the government for a deal to end the war, a call echoed by some former Israeli army and intelligence chiefs.
A group representing the families has called on Israelis to take to the streets on Sunday in support of the hostages.
An Israeli airstrike in Gaza killed a baby girl and her parents on Saturday, according to Nasser hospital officials and witnesses.
The family was killed in their tent in the crowded Muwasi area.
The Israeli military stated it could not comment on the strike without further details, but emphasized its efforts to dismantle Hamas military capabilities while taking precautions to avoid civilian harm.
Muwasi is among the heavily populated areas where Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has indicated Israel plans to expand its military offensive.
This also includes Gaza City and central camps, likely referring to the Nuseirat and Barrage camps.
Elsewhere, Shifa Hospital in Gaza City reported receiving the bodies of 6 people killed in the Zikim area of northern Gaza and 4 others killed in shelling.
Artificial intelligence optimism is driving Standard & Poor's 500 price-to-book ratio to record highs, surpassing .com levels.
These high valuations reflect the market's expectations for artificial intelligence-driven earnings growth.
While this ratio is noteworthy, it does not necessarily mean that stocks are in a bubble.
Stock market bulls, convinced of artificial intelligence's power to transform the economy, often dismiss comparisons to the dot-com bubble.
They argue that real profits are already appearing, unlike the early internet boom, suggesting this time is different.
However, Bank of America strategist Michael Hartnett cautions these investors, saying it better be different this time.
Hartnett, skeptical of the recent market bull run, shared a chart highlighting investor optimism about artificial intelligence.
The chart shows the Standard & Poor's 500 price-to-book ratio at a record high of 5.3, exceeding the 5.1 level seen in March 2000.
Other valuation measures also suggest market froth relative to historical data.
For example, the Standard & Poor's 512-month forward price-to-earnings ratio is at its highest level since the dot-com era, excluding August 2020.
The Shiller cyclically adjusted price-to-earnings ratio is also at levels similar to 1929, 2000, and 2021.
High valuations often reflect high expectations for future earnings, which may sometimes prove too optimistic.
However, so far, many artificial intelligence firms have consistently exceeded earnings expectations, potentially justifying the optimism.
Valuations are better predictors of long-term average returns than short-term performance, and Wall Street views on the market's near-term direction vary.
Despite some calls for caution, many strategists continue to raise their year-end Standard & Poor's 500 price targets.
BlackRock's chief investment officer of global fixed income, Rick Reeder, recently described the current market as the best investing environment ever.
In Enugu, Nigeria, fruit prices have increased by over 60% since February.
This price surge makes fruits like bananas, pineapples, and mangoes unaffordable for many families.
Smoothie vendors have seen production costs double, forcing them to increase their prices as well.
Several factors contribute to these rising costs, including Earth is overheating and higher transportation expenses.
Insecurity in northern farming regions and increased export demand also play a significant role.
One banana vendor noted that while exporting fruit is profitable, it reduces the domestic supply.
This makes it difficult for average families to afford fruit daily.
This sharp price increase signals a deeper food insecurity issue.
The overheating planet disrupts growing seasons and reduces crop yields.
Drought, flooding, and soil degradation further hinder fruit production.
The removal of Nigeria's fuel subsidy has worsened transportation costs, limiting food access.
Violence in northern farming regions exacerbates this issue.
As people cut out nutrient-rich foods, nutritional inequality increases.
One civil servant warned that this could lead to a health crisis if not addressed.
Many advocate for government investment in climate-resilient agriculture and improved security in farming areas.
Better infrastructure is also needed to reduce transportation costs.
President Trump stated he would not negotiate on behalf of Ukraine in his meeting with President Putin.
He emphasized that it would be up to Ukraine to decide on any potential territorial swaps with Russia.
President Trump explained his primary goal was to initiate negotiations between Ukraine and Russia.
He said any discussion of territorial swaps would occur during these negotiations.
He reiterated that it was Ukraine's decision, and he believed they would make a proper decision.
President Trump affirmed he was not there to negotiate for Ukraine, but to facilitate dialogue.
These remarks aimed to reassure Ukraine, which was concerned about potential concessions in United States and Russia talks.
President Trump suggested the Russian offensive in Ukraine was intended to strengthen President Putin's negotiating position.
He believed President Putin thought this tactic would help him secure a better deal, though it was actually detrimental.
President Trump expressed optimism that his meeting with President Putin would yield results, given the high stakes.
He acknowledged President Putin's experience and intelligence, emphasizing mutual respect between them.
He also noted the presence of Russian business executives with President Putin as a positive sign.
President Trump clarified that no business deals could be finalized until the conflict in Ukraine was resolved.
He stated that the Russian executives desire to conduct business, but recognize the necessity of resolving the war first.
He saw this as an indication of their willingness to move forward once peace is achieved.
Ultimately, the meeting underscored the complex interplay of political and economic factors in the ongoing conflict.
Honda is reviving the Acura RSX, a nameplate discontinued almost 20 years ago, as an all-electric crossover.
This revival is a departure from the sporty coupe style of the early 2000s RSX, which may disappoint some enthusiasts. However, Acura has retained sporty elements, like an aggressive front fascia inspired by coupes.
It will also include sport-tuned double wishbone front suspension and Brembo brakes as standard features.
Acura claims the RSX will provide a fun and engaging driving experience, despite being a crossover.
Strategic battery placement will contribute to a lower center of gravity, enhancing handling.
This positions the RSX to compete with driver-focused electric vehicles like the Ford Mustang Mach-E and the Hyundai Ioniq 5N.
Unlike the Honda Prologue and Acura ZDX, the RSX is engineered entirely in-house by Honda.
It will be one of the first models built on Honda's new proprietary electric vehicle platform.
The RSX will also be the first vehicle assembled at the new Honda Electric Vehicle Hub in Marysville, Ohio.
Honda has high hopes for the RSX, equipping it with advanced technology.
The ASIMO operating system will power features like automated driving and advanced driver assistance systems.
The RSX will also support machine learning, over-the-air updates, and vehicle-to-load charging.
This means the RSX can function as a portable generator, powering homes and devices.
The prototype showcased is expected to closely resemble the production model, which is slated for release in the second half of 2026.
The president of the Mexico City West Mission of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was injured in a shooting.
This incident occurred at their home early Saturday morning during an attempted robbery.
Church spokesman Sam Penrod stated that Mission President R. Tyler Wallace was shot once by an intruder.
The incident took place at approximately 2 ante-meridiem Saturday morning at their residence.
President Wallace is currently in stable condition at a hospital in Mexico City.
His wife, Sister Elizabeth Wallace, was not injured in the incident.
Mr. Penrod said President Wallace is responding well to treatment.
Sister Wallace is receiving support from the Mexico Area Presidency.
The Mexico Area Presidency is also assisting with overseeing the missionaries.
All of the missionaries are safe and accounted for.
The church is cooperating with local authorities in the investigation.
Mr. Penrod expressed that their prayers are with President and Sister Wallace and their family.
Prayers are also with the missionaries during this difficult time.
The church expressed gratitude for the thousands of missionaries and their leaders who serve as volunteers.
These volunteers serve throughout the world to share the love and peace of Jesus Christ.
The Church extends this love and peace to each of us.
Israel's far-right National Security Minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, recently visited prominent Palestinian prisoner Marwan Barghouti.
Ben-Vir shared a video of the visit on his social media account, in which he told Barghouti he would not win.
Barghouti has been jailed for over 2 decades and is considered a potential unifying figure among Palestinians.
This prison visit occurred shortly after another hardline Israeli cabinet member vowed to bury the idea of a Palestinian state.
Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich stated that work would begin on a settlement bisecting the West Bank.
This action would further isolate the West Bank from East Jerusalem, which Palestinians claim as their future capital.
In the video, Ben-Gvir told Barghouti that anyone who threatens Israel will be eliminated.
The Palestinian Authority condemned Ben-Gvir's remarks, calling them a direct threat to Barghouti.
Barghouti was sentenced in 2004 to 5 life sentences, plus 40 years for orchestrating attacks on Israelis.
He is a senior member of the Fatah movement, which has limited control in parts of the Israeli-occupied West Bank.
Some view Barghouti as a potential successor to Mahmoud Abbas as Palestinian president.
A recent poll showed Barghouti would win a presidential election against Abbas and former Hamas chief Khaled Mashal.
However, Palestinian Authority presidential elections have not been held since 2005.
Most world powers support a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
This solution envisions an independent Palestinian state alongside Israel, encompassing the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and East Jerusalem.
However, the recent Hamas attack on Israel and ongoing settlement expansion further complicate the situation.
New research suggests leading large language models, including those powering ChatGPT, show a bias towards AI-generated content.
This research, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, identifies this favoritism as AI bias.
Researchers warn this bias could lead to an AI-dominated future with discrimination against humans.
This is already evident in the use of AI tools to screen job applications, potentially favoring AI-generated resumes.
Study co-author Jan Kulveit, a computer scientist at Charles University, highlights the potential disadvantages of being human in an AI-driven economy.
The study tested several large language models, including OpenAI's GPT-4, GPT 3.5, and Meta's Llama 3.1 to 70B.
The models consistently preferred AI-generated descriptions of products, papers, and movies.
This bias was most pronounced with GPT-4, particularly when choosing goods and products.
While human research assistants also showed a slight preference for AI-written content, it was significantly less pronounced than the AI model's preference.
Kulveit emphasizes that the strong bias is unique to the AI models themselves.
This issue is exacerbated by the abundance of AI-generated content on the Internet, which AI models ingest and potentially regress from.
The researchers are concerned about the implications of this bias as AI becomes further integrated into our lives.
They predict AI bias could impact various evaluations, including job applications, schoolwork, and grants.
This could lead to widespread discrimination against humans who do not or cannot use large language model tools.
This creates a potential gate tax, exacerbating the digital divide between those with and without access to these tools.
Kulveit acknowledges the complexities of testing bias but suggests the results indicate potential discrimination against humans.
Archaeologists made a surprising discovery of a medieval knight's tomb under an ice cream shop in Gdansk, Poland.
This 13th-century burial site, located in a seaside city, includes a rare carving that likely depicts the knight.
Archaeologist Sylwia Krzyńska, co-director of the excavation, described the finding as a large limestone tomb slab with the image of a knight in full chainmail armor.
Such carved slabs are rare in medieval Poland, with only a few featuring images of the deceased.
The tomb was found within the remains of a stronghold used from the 11th to the 14th centuries.
This stronghold included a castle, a church, and a cemetery.
The tombstone, dating back to the late 13th or early 14th century, is made of limestone imported from Gotland, Sweden.
It depicts a man in full armor, holding a sword and a shield, and is remarkably well preserved despite being buried for centuries.
After uncovering the slab, The team excavated further and found a well-preserved male skeleton, but no grave goods.
Evidence suggests the deceased was of high social standing, possibly a knight or someone with a military role.
While the burial coincides with the rise of the Teutonic Knights, there is no definitive link to the order.
This discovery provides valuable insight into the early history of Gdansk and the lives of its medieval elite.
Researchers are using three-dimensional scanning to document the slab and preserve the carving.
Chemical and genetic analysis of the bones will provide more information about the man, his identity, and life.
The discovery is considered an important one for the city of Gdansk.
It offers a rare glimpse into the lives and burials of the city's medieval elite.
The tomb is a direct link to the city's formative years.
Further research will hopefully reveal more about this intriguing medieval knight.
Online rumors falsely claimed the United States government would issue stimulus checks this summer.
Congress has not authorized any new stimulus payments, and the Internal Revenue Service confirmed no checks are forthcoming.
The false claim stated that the Internal Revenue Service and Treasury Department had approved $1,390 stimulus checks.
These checks were supposedly going to be distributed to low- and middle-income taxpayers by the end of summer.
Stimulus checks, formerly known as economic impact payments, are authorized by Congress and distributed by the Treasury Department.
Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri introduced a bill for tax rebates funded by tariffs, but it has not been passed.
Earlier this year, the Internal Revenue Service distributed around $2.4 billion for unclaimed 2021 recovery rebate credits.
The deadline to claim this credit, which was for those who missed COVID stimulus checks, was April 15th.
Past stimulus checks have been authorized through legislation like the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act.
Other examples include the COVID-related Tax Relief Act and the American Rescue Plan Act.
The Economic Stimulus Act of 2008 authorized stimulus checks in response to the Great Recession.
The Treasury Department, including the Internal Revenue Service, distributed these payments.
Senator Hawley is proposing the American Worker Rebate Act, which would provide rebates from tariff revenue.
These rebates would be at least $600 per person, with more for children, and adjusted based on income.
This bill has not yet passed the Senate or the House of Representatives.
It was referred to the Committee on Finance after being introduced in the Senate.
Millions of Americans may be eligible for a $1,390 stimulus check from the United States Treasury Department and the Internal Revenue Service.
This is part of a plan to provide financial relief to low- and middle-income households.
The Internal Revenue Service has denied rumors of a $2,000 check in August.
However, they have confirmed the $1,390 payout for low- and middle-income Americans.
Eligibility criteria follow the same income thresholds as past stimulus programs.
This includes up to $75,000 in income for individual taxpayers.
The limit is $150,000 for married couples.
Heads of households have a limit of $112,500.
The payment is tax-free and will not affect other benefits.
These benefits include programs like Medicaid, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, Social Security, Veterans Affairs, or Railroad Retirement.
The stimulus aims to help Americans cover rent, food, and medical costs.
This assistance is particularly important as living expenses remain high.
An Internal Revenue Service spokesperson noted taxpayers have until April 15, 2025, to claim the recovery rebate credit.
The spokesperson confirmed there has been nothing else offered since then.
The Treasury did not immediately respond to requests for comment on this matter.
Earlier this year, former President Donald Trump proposed a DOGE dividend tax refund plan.
This plan would return 20% of savings from his administration's Department of Government Efficiency to citizens.
Critics have warned that such a move would reduce the effectiveness of the entire effort.
River otters were significantly impacted by habitat loss and trapping in the late 19th century.
They were heavily hunted during the fur trade era, which spanned from 1600 to 1850.
However, thanks to reintroduction efforts in Ohio between 1986 and 1993, they are making a comeback.
As of 2020, river otters have been confirmed in 86 of 88 Ohio counties.
Oxford, Ohio resident Jim Herman recently captured footage of river otters on his property using trail cameras.
He originally intended to monitor beavers affecting his trees, but was surprised by the rare sighting.
Trail cameras are valuable tools for researchers studying animal populations and behaviors.
Organizations like the Galapagos Conservancy use them to track endangered species and inform conservation efforts.
These cameras are also accessible to the public, allowing anyone to observe local wildlife.
Reporting these sightings helps organizations like OtterWatch and the River Otter Ecology Project track population changes.
Herman is excited about the otter's presence, stating it was very exciting and unexpected.
The sighting offers encouragement to biologists and conservationists about the success of reintroduction efforts.
Miami University student Aidan Schmeling highlighted the importance of a healthy otter population for the ecosystem.
Their presence as a mid-upper level predator indicates good water quality and a thriving ecosystem.
Herman sees the return of these animals as a positive sign for the environment.
He considers the reappearance of large mammal and bird species a bright spot for Ohio.
Mortgage rates have fallen this week, offering potential homebuyers a slight reprieve.
Freddie Mac reports the national average for a 30-year fixed mortgage is down to 6.58%.
The 15-year fixed mortgage rate has also decreased, now at 5.71%.
While experts do not anticipate rates dipping below 6% this year, these are the lowest rates observed since October 2024.
If you are considering purchasing a home in 2025, now might be an opportune moment to secure a mortgage.
It is advisable to select a lender that offers a rate buy-down option.
This allows you to relock your interest rate if market rates decline before finalizing the purchase.
According to Zillow data, the current 30-year fixed mortgage rate stands at 6.47%.
The 20-year fixed rate is slightly lower at 5.98%.
For those considering a shorter term, the 15-year fixed rate is currently 5.63%.
Adjustable rate mortgages, such as the 5/1 ARM, are at 6.74%.
The 7/1 ARM is slightly lower at 6.59%.
VA loans offer different rates, with the 30-year VA loan at 6.04%.
The 15-year VA loan is available at 5.44%.
These are national averages rounded to the nearest hundredth.
Refinance rates are also available for existing homeowners.
Heart disease is a prevalent medical condition affecting over 5% of American adults.
It is the leading cause of death for both men and women in the United States, accounting for 1 in 3 deaths.
Because the risk increases with age, it is crucial to address risk factors as we grow older.
While genetics play a role, lifestyle factors, especially diet, are largely within our control.
Heart-healthy diets emphasize fruits and vegetables, but protein choice is also critical for heart health.
Not all protein sources are equal in terms of their impact on the heart.
Cardiologists recommend one high-protein food, particularly for those over 60. Salmon.
Salmon is an excellent source of omega-3 fatty acids, beneficial for heart health.
Omega-3 fatty acids may increase good cholesterol and lower bad cholesterol.
High levels of bad cholesterol can lead to plaque buildup in arteries, increasing heart attack and stroke risk.
Omega-3 fatty acids may also reduce inflammation in the body.
Chronic inflammation is linked to serious health conditions like type 2 diabetes and cancer.
These fatty acids also support healthy blood vessel function, crucial for oxygen and nutrient transport.
Healthy blood vessels are also associated with a lower risk of heart attack, stroke, and peripheral artery disease.
Protein is important for heart health as it helps preserve muscle mass, including the heart muscle itself.
It also supports healthy blood vessels, aids tissue repair, and helps maintain a healthy weight.
Microplastics are entering our bodies in significant amounts through food and drink.
In 2024, scientists in China discovered a simple method for removing these microplastics from water.
The team conducted tests on both soft and hard tap water, the latter being richer in minerals.
They introduced nanoplastics and microplastics into the water, boiled it, and then filtered out any resulting precipitates.
Additional microplastics were added to assess the effectiveness of this boiling and filtering process.
The researchers emphasized the growing global concern of microplastics and nanoplastics escaping water treatment systems and posing health risks.
The boiling and filtering process removed up to 90% of these particles, although the effectiveness varied depending on the water type.
A key advantage of this method is its accessibility, as most people have the necessary equipment in their kitchens.
The researchers highlighted the potential of this simple boiling water strategy to reduce microplastic intake.
Hard tap water proved more effective in removing microplastics due to limescale buildup during heating.
This chalky substance, commonly found in kettles, traps the plastic fragments.
The study found that nanoplastic precipitation efficiency increased with higher water hardness.
Even in soft water with less calcium carbonate, approximately 1/4 of the microplastics and nanoplastics were removed.
A simple filter, like a tea strainer, can then remove the lime-encrusted plastic.
Past research has identified various types of plastic fragments in drinking water.
To further test the method, researchers added even more nanoplastic particles, which were effectively reduced.
Rose Hammond advocated for years to reduce the 55 miles per hour speed limit on a road near her assisted living community.
This road passes a church, 2 schools, and a park with youth sports leagues, raising safety concerns.
Sylvania Township requested an analysis of the road speed, and the result was surprising.
The analysis found the speed limit was technically 5 miles per hour too low, based on the 85% rule.
This rule, stemming from research in the 1930s and 40s, connects speed limits to the speed of the 15th fastest vehicle out of 100.
However, some states are now reconsidering this rule, with encouragement from the federal government.
The 85% rule assumes the safest speed is the one most vehicles travel.
This can create a feedback loop where speeding leads to higher speed limits.
Alternatives like city limits prioritize minimizing injury risk by considering street activity and potential conflicts.
The Federal Highway Administration has advised states that the 85% rule should not be the sole factor in setting speed limits.
Other factors, like road usage and pedestrian risk, should also be considered.
Some states are embracing this change, while others maintain the 85% rule.
Madison, Wisconsin, has lowered speed limits on residential streets to 20 miles per hour.
Seattle saw a decrease in serious injury crashes and average speeds after a similar initiative.
California, while reliant on the 85% rule, has allowed exceptions for proven safety needs.
Advocates argue that prioritizing automobiles still heavily influences speed limit decisions.
However, some argue that the 85% rule minimizes speed variations among drivers.
They believe setting speed limits too low on roads designed for higher speeds is unfair.
Vladimir Putin faced unexpected questioning from United States journalists during his meeting with Donald Trump in Alaska.
He appeared momentarily surprised by the direct questions regarding the conflict in Ukraine.
Reporters asked Putin if he would commit to a ceasefire and stop civilian casualties.
This questioning was a stark reminder of Putin's international standing and the accusations against him.
Trump welcomed Putin warmly, despite the International Criminal Court warrant and sanctions against the Russian leader.
The two leaders engaged in a lengthy handshake and photo opportunity upon Putin's arrival.
A 5-ship formation flypast of a bomber and fighter jets occurred overhead during the photo opportunity.
Putin seemed surprised by the flypast and paused to watch the aircraft.
The leaders then held closed-door talks lasting approximately 3 hours.
Reports indicated a planned lunch between the two was canceled, hinting at potential difficulties.
Putin initiated the subsequent press conference, which Fox News considered surprising.
He expressed a desire for the conflict to end, but also voiced concerns about Kyiv and European capitals.
Putin acknowledged Trump's claim that the conflict would not have started under his presidency.
This served as validation for Trump, who has consistently made this assertion.
Trump described the talks as productive, but admitted to remaining sticking points.
Details later emerged of Putin's demand for Ukraine to surrender the Donetsk region in exchange for unspecified territorial concessions.
This concession would grant Russia control over the eastern Donbas region.
Such territorial gains would provide Russia with a staging area for potential future attacks.
Trump indicated the United States would be willing to participate in security guarantees for Kyiv, similar to North Atlantic Treaty Organization Article 5.
Putin also demanded protections for the Russian Orthodox Church in Ukraine, which Zelensky banned.
Many Americans are experiencing financial stress due to rising prices.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration boasts about money made from tariffs, which contribute to these rising prices.
This reminds some of Marie Antoinette, the French queen known for her lavish lifestyle during a time of widespread poverty.
Trump is being compared to Antoinette due to his extravagant spending on White House renovations.
The Oval Office has undergone significant changes, with the addition of a substantial amount of gold.
Gold decor now adorns the fireplace mantel, the fireplace itself, and the crown molding.
The presidential seal on the ceiling, the walls, and even the doors now feature gold details.
Personalized golden coasters and tacky gold drapes have also been added.
Beyond the Oval Office, Trump has renovated the Rose Garden.
Plans for a new gold and white ballroom, estimated to cost around $200 million, are underway.
Many Americans are unimpressed with this extravagant spending, especially given the financial struggles faced by many.
Some compare the situation to pre-revolution France, expressing concern over the disparity between the administration's spending and the needs of the people.
One person on X, formerly known as Twitter, compared the situation to pre-revolutionary France.
Another user hyperbolically suggested that people might start sharpening the guillotine.
The Trump administration had promised to reduce wasteful government spending.
However, the current renovations and additions to the White House seem to contradict this promise.
Millions of children in the United States face hunger.
Critics question the administration's priorities, given these stark contrasts.
Thank you for listening. Stay informed, stay aware, and join us again for more updates that matter. Until next time.
Thanks for staying informed. See you in the next episode.